Well, I really am a fan of Einstein's comments about the difference between what he called a theory of wood and a theory of marble. And a theory of wood, if you can imagine somebody taking a bunch of wooden boards and nailing them together to try to make a sculpture, and it's rickety and it teeter-totters a lot. Whereas a really good theory is like it carved out of marble, and it's already there, and you just have to take away that which you don't need. You can't just crash the gate because it can be very damaging. Your shadow self is what you have to move through to get to the fruits of the higher self. I believe that everyone here at this time is awakening to their higher self and their potential. And the idea of a singular messianic figure is very old world patriarchal thinking. So you have the two primal forces in the universe, love and light. Love is fourth density, light or wisdom is fifth density. The unity of love and light is sixth density, the brow chakra. You reach a point in your cosmic evolution where God is not something out there that you're saying, oh, there it is. It's within. So how could you be a messiah on a planet? How could anybody be? Because that implies that it's somebody else. We were building up to a point last time, right before we cut off the camera, and I wanted to finish that point because it is important, and for people who are watching it all edited together, it's going to be kind of a cliffhanger otherwise. I was talking about how the DNA molecule, as per Dr. Peter Garyev's information, acts as an antenna, and that it harnesses photons of light in an otherwise dark room, and all the light will spiral through the molecule. This then lended itself to another Garyev study that he did, where he took a salamander embryo and zapped it with a laser beam, and then was able to redirect the light from the salamander's embryo into a frog embryo. And in so doing, he was able to cause the frog embryo to completely metamorphosize into a salamander. So the relevance of this to what we're talking about is, insofar as we have this interplanetary climate change phenomenon, we have a great outside source of energy that seems to be coming into our solar system and causing changes that we hadn't seen before. And these changes actually affect our DNA. So in other words, when you're seeing the planets change and you're seeing the magnetic fields getting larger, you're seeing the actual atmospheres of the planets becoming brighter, all these things are happening. We are also on the planets. Of course, we're on the Earth, and so the changes are energetic, and it affects the whole system, not just one part of the system. So we are part of that Earth system. So this is really kind of the smoking gun that suggests that that species evolution is actually occurring, and that's part of what this 2012 situation is really about. There's a scientist from UC Berkeley, Dr. Robert Rohde, spelled R-O-H-D-E, and he showed that the evolutionary record does not indicate Darwinian evolution, which occurs at this gradual speed. You have these sudden moments in which new species appear on the Earth, and they occur in even cycles of time, which are actually 62 million years in length. So what that appears to indicate is that there are domains of energy in the galaxy that take us 62 million years to traverse. And when we hit a wave front, when we hit a new layer of this energy, it has an effect on the DNA of every organism on the planet, causing these discontinuous changes similar to what you saw with the salamander frog experiment.
Would you also say that this facilitates Lamarckian evolution, the inherited acquired characteristics?
Yeah, insofar as it seems that the energy field that we're interacting with itself is a conscious source, and given the fact that the field itself is conscious, events that cause great stress or pain to an organism are uploaded into the collective mind of that species field, which Dr. Rupert Sheldrake calls them morphogenetic fields. So then what happens is there is an adaptive mutation that occurs based on the needs of that particular species in its environment. The core of what Sheldrake is coming out with, in my mind, is most easily seen with the Baxter studies, Dr. Cleve Baxter. Now, last year we actually went down to San Diego and filmed Dr. Baxter. He is a scientist who started out as a CIA polygraph expert. And he decided one day what would happen if I took my polygraph and hooked it up to the leaf of this plant. Well, he was very surprised because unlike a smooth, unchanging wavelength, which he thought he would see from the plant, instead he ended up with a shifting dynamic wave, which was much more indicative of what you would expect a human being to be like, with the exception that the skin kind of acts as a dampening agent to the electrical current. But the plant has a very active dynamic electrical current. Well, then he said, since this plant is acting so much like a human being, what if I ran the plant through stress, similar to how you do a human on a lie detector? The whole purpose of lie detection is you want to get the person into this moment when you say, did you fire the shot who killed so-and-so? And the person has a shock. They're not happy. They're not enthusiastic about your question. So then they end up saying, no, of course I didn't kill him. And then the graph goes crazy. So he says, well, how do I shock a plant? He tried dipping one of the leaves in his coffee. That didn't work. He tried a variety of little things like that. When he got the idea in his mind, without actually even doing it, but just got the idea of going and taking a match, lighting the match, striking it, and then holding it to one of the leaves and burning the leaf, the plant had an enormous reaction. And in fact, it did not stop until after he had actually gone and done it, burned the leaf, and then taken the matches out of the room again. Only once the threat was gone and he was out of the room did the plant finally calm down. So here we are, literally 40 years later after he discovered this. We're filming Dr. Baxter, and he's not an actor. So if we didn't get the plant to have an authentic reaction in our film shoot,